I struggle daily with not knowing if my husband will be laid off or if we will have enough to pay our bills or if we will lose everything we have worked so hard for.
Christina Boudwin of Houma tried her best to hold back tears as she described her family's financial situation at a press conference with economic experts from Loyola University.
You make barely enough to get what you need, but you don't make enough to get help.
Loyola University's Jesuit Social Research Institute released a report that looked into the economic welfare of Louisiana families. And the report showed that more than 250,000 residents all across the state of Louisiana are just one paycheck away from losing it all.
Well, more than half of all families with children in Louisiana are currently lacking economic security, meaning that they have a difficult time accessing the essential basic needs for their everyday lives.
Ali Bustamante is an economic policy specialist for the JSRI and says this not only hurts families, but it also hurts local businesses.
Every dollar that families can't spend on the basics is a dollar that our communities never see.
The Research Institute created family economic security estimates based on the U.S. Census American Community Survey, among other studies. It showed the annual family economic security ranged from $45,840 for a single mother family with one child, all the way up to $75,756 for a married couple with 3 children. When they broke down the estimate to the 250,000 Louisiana families lacking economic security, it showed 33% of married couples lack financial security, while that number jumped to 80% for single mother families and 39% for single father families. Bustamante says the news is much worse for the greater New Orleans area because it has the highest cost of living of any area in the state.
And much of that is attributed to the fact that housing as well as taxes are disproportionately more expensive than the rest of the state.
Boudwin says when her and her husband bought their home in Houma a few years ago, she worked full-time as well, and they had no trouble paying their $1,000 a month mortgage. But after her 2-year-old son was diagnosed with SMA type 1, a type of muscular disease that affects all muscles in the body except for the brain, medical bills got out of hand and she began fighting with Medicaid to help pay for medicines to help keep her son alive.
The things my son does need are certain devices or whatnot. They have to file for it on 3 to 4 times just for them to say, okay, you can have it.
Boudwin says after she maxed out her credit cards trying to keep her household afloat, this past December she turned to members of the Catholic Charities of the Diocese of the Houma-Thibodaux area, and they came to her aid.
They helped me with my water bill, and Catholic Social Services have helped me with my electrical bill.
Robert Gorman, the executive director of the Catholic Charities in the Houma area, says 16 denominations have come together with their Bread or Stones campaign.
We haven't made improving the lives of children a priority. So the church has said we're going to make that a priority as church.
Bustamante says there are things Louisiana political leaders can do to correct the problem. He says one is expanding Medicaid, and that can help bring down costs and help families without coverage get coverage. And there's also the issue of raising the state's minimum wage.
And the minimum wage is a big part of that. Increasing the minimum wage to $10.10 or more per hour would really benefit tons of workers as well as stimulate a lot of spending in our economy.
The JSRI will now try to get the report into the hands of key individuals in the Louisiana legislature and in Congress. Boudwin just hopes her story can help give those struggling to make ends meet a voice.
To let others know, we're struggling just as much.